If you're taking Algebra 1 this year and you need some extra help on the elimination method, I'm going to show you exactly how to work out some of those problems in this video. So in this example, we have two equations, okay? So we have 3x plus 2y is equal to 16, and we have 5x minus 2y is equal to 8, all right? So first of all, why would we use the elimination method and not another method? Well, if we look at these two equations, okay, notice that we have these y terms, okay, positive 2y and negative 2y, that will cancel. That's very important, okay, because part of elimination method is getting our variables to cancel so that we can solve for another. So what we're going to do is we're going to add both of these equations together, just like an addition problem. And so whenever we do that, we're going to notice that our y variables, our y terms, cancel. So first of all, we have 3x plus 5x, and that is going to be 8x. And then we have positive 2y plus negative 2y, and those are going to cancel or leave us with 0, okay? So that is going to be equal to 16 plus 8 is 24. And so now we have 8x is equal to 24. So now we're going to divide by 8 on both sides to get x is equal to 24 divided by 8, which is positive 3. Okay, so we'll put a box around that. And so now that we know what x is equal to, we can plug that into either one of our equations and find what y is equal to. Okay, so I'm just going to use my first equation to keep it simple. So I'm going to rewrite it. We have 3x plus 2y is equal to 16. Okay, and we know that x is equal to 3, so we can just plug in 3 for x and just solve the equation for y. Okay, so if I rewrite that, it'll be 3 times parentheses 3 plus 2y is equal to 16, and now we can just solve this equation. So 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2y is equal to 16. So we want to solve for y, so I'm going to cancel out this 9 by subtracting 9 from both sides. That's going to cancel and leave me with 2y is equal to 16 minus 9, which is 7. Now to solve for y, we can divide by 2 on both sides to get y is equal to 7 over 2, or 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So I'm going to put y is equal to 3.5, put that in a box. And so the point or the solution to this system of equations is going to be 3, 3.5, and that would be our answer for our first example. So that first example is really simple. It was already set up for us to use the elimination method, but obviously a lot of times I get a lot of questions about how do I know when to use the elimination method, when do I have to multiply, that sort of thing. So here's an example that's going to answer that, okay? So again, we're given two equations, 4x plus 3y is equal to 25, and 2x plus 5y is equal to 23. And we want to solve the system of equations. So looking at these two equations, right, the x terms are not going to cancel like they are currently, right? We have 4x and 2x. And the y terms are 3y and 5y, okay? So if I add or subtract those, we're not going to cancel anything. So we have to think about, what can I multiply one of these equations by to get the same coefficient for one of the terms, all right? So there's a really simple way to do this, all right? So the first equation has a 4x, and the second equation has a 2x. So obviously we can multiply 2x by 2 to get 4x, and then they're going to match and we can cancel that, okay? So we have to multiply this whole second equation by 2. Let's go ahead and multiply everything inside the parentheses by 2, and that would give me 2 times 2x, which is 4x, 2 times 5y, which is 10y, or plus 10y, and then 2 times 23, which is 46, okay? So now I'm going to just copy down my first equation. 4x plus 3y is equal to 25, okay? And the order really doesn't matter at this point. So now we have two equations, and we have a 4x and a 4x that can cancel, okay? So now the question is, do we add the equations or do we subtract the equations? Well, if I add the equations, 4x plus 4x is 8x, so that's not going to cancel, so obviously we're going to subtract, okay? So we are going to subtract the second equation from the first equation, and I like to put parentheses just so that I don't get any signs mixed up. So 4x minus 4x is going to cancel, all right? That's 0. Then we have 10y minus 3y, which is 7y, and that is equal to 46 minus 25, which is 21, okay? So now we have 7 times y is equal to 21. We are going to divide by 7 on both sides to get y is equal to 21 divided by 7, which is 3. All right, so I'm going to make a note up here that y is equal to 3. Go ahead and put a box around it. So now that we know what y is, we need to solve for x, okay? And so to do that, all we have to do, just like the last problem, is take our 3 and plug it into either equation from the beginning, okay? So I'm going to take this original 2x plus 5y equals 23. You can do either one, but I'm just going to choose it because I think it might be a little bit simpler. And so I'm going to copy that down right over here. So 2x plus 5y is equal to 23, okay? And like I said, y is equal to 3, so now we can plug in that 3 right there for the y, okay? Or we're going to substitute 3 for y. So 2x plus 5 parentheses 3 is equal to 23. And so now we can just solve the equation. So 2x plus 5 times 3 is 15. So that's 2x plus 15 is equal to 23. And then now we can subtract 15 from both sides to get 2x is equal to 23 minus 15, which is 8. And so now we can divide by 2 on both sides to get x is equal to 8 divided by 2, which is 4. And so now that we have x equals 4, we have both variables. So that means that our solution would be 4, 3, and that would be our solution to this system of equations. Okay, so that's all you have to do for elimination method. Sometimes, like that first example, the problem's already set up for you and you just have to add or subtract. And then the second example, we saw a problem where we had to multiply one of the equations. But again, we're just trying to get one of the pairs of x terms or y terms to cancel. Okay, and so I hope that this video was helpful. Leave me a comment with any questions that you might have or suggestions for more videos, and I will get those made.